Yeah, so in my last update video, I mentioned that I'm tired of these cheap breadboards. Like if you put a piece of wire in there, it just doesn't stick. Way too loose. Whereas this one here, it's well, you can see it from the side perhaps. When I plug something in there, I can lift up just about the breadboard with it. So they make a good contact. I don't know who makes these things, but I got this from Jamico. Actually got it from Amazon, but it's made by a company called Jamico, or whatever you say that. And I was a little bit, I thought, I think I've mentioned it earlier in the other video, but I thought when you got these things that they would connect these, power rails or something to various things and ground to the blue ones and so on, but they don't. It's just a hole in there, and there is 3 connectors, and I guess they figure that you can plug in a power with a banana plug, and then you'd have to put wires in there and then plug them into the rails. But I would rather have these rails connected to those, and then I can decide to plug what bit of power I have to plug in there. So in other words, this red one here could go to that red one, and this red one here could go to that yellow one. This red one here could go to the red one again, and then this red one here can go to the yellow one or something, and then the ground could go to all of those. So I took screws out over here. It was screwed down, as you can see, the little holes, but for some reason these guys can actually be pulled apart. They have like little legs on them, and for some reason there is sticky stuff on their foam tape, which they didn't use. They just left the cover on there. But I've been pulling this up here, wondering how I could solder a wire onto those strips or something like that. These are metal strips in there, and I think I have to think about this. This is a metal plate, unfortunately, so I would like to put wires from underneath to go into here, but I think the best way might be to drill some holes and then underneath where these little rails are, and see if I can connect something to that, maybe even a little screw or something, or some sort of little terminal. I'll have to think about that. So I'll have to come up with some sort of solution, but that's what I'm going to be looking at. I'm also interested perhaps to remove one of these rows and have it like this, so that my microcontroller that I have could plug into this bus here and leave some pins available for. But I don't really see why I would need to have 2 power rails in the middle. Anyway, I'm also thinking about that. So I'm going to think about that and come up with some sort of solution. Okay, so we're going to reconfigure this breadboard here. This is the metal plate, very soft aluminium, and I am going to kind of reconfigure it like this. This one is going to go on the end there, and that means that I can actually take these wide microcontrollers, and I'll have 2 sets of pins available on one side and 3 on the other. and there will be a power rail in the middle. We are going to connect these three banana sockets. They go over there, and we're going to connect those with little connectors and wire. Got some silicone wire here that I'm going to use yellow, red and black, and we're going to alternately connect. Like this one here will be connected to the yellow, this will be connected to the red, and of course all the blue ones will be ground, and this also is going to be 5 volts, so it'll be red. I'm going to use that as 5 volts. The yellow can be some other voltage, could be 3.3 volts or something like that. Anyway, in order to do that, I have had to drill some new holes in here, and these boards tend to have some sort of gooey tape, sticky, so you can stick them on, and they had left it on there. They hadn't even stuck them on, they had left the paper on there. So I removed all that, and the plan is to, I'll pull up these a little bit over here, is to solder some little wires on there. We're going to do that carefully, and I'm going to use this as a heat sink, so that hopefully we are only just heating that up as gently as we can, because we don't want it to lose its springiness. And when I've done that, I've actually, this is one of those crappy Chinese things, and these are actually made in Taiwan, it said. They are good ones, these are not. And if you look at it under the microscope, just hold on, I'll bring in the microscope here. So it's a little bit wobbly because I'm actually holding it in my hand on my knee here. Hard to focus in on, but as you can see, this is the good one. The little tangs over here, and this is actually some sort of brass, springy brass, and these little tangs over here, they're actually touching. So when you plug something in there, they move apart and they provide a good connection to whatever you plug in there. Now these are the crappy ones, and let me see if I can get that focused in. Right, where are you? They are not brass, they are some sort of, I don't know what kind of metal they are, and you see they are already open. They're not even closed. There's no wonder when you plug something in there, like those little blue resistors, you know, those metal film ones, they got very thin wires on them. They never catch on those things. You always have to wiggle them trying to make, and you know, and so the metal is probably not as good and as springy, and also they're not even closed. And I've noticed that when you plug something in there that's a little bit thicker too, they will not spring back anymore, so you can never plug anything fine back into those things. So that is the problem with those Chinese ones. So here are those crappy Chinese breadboards. As you can see, they want $5.27 for a whole bunch, 10 pieces, little ones and big ones. Don't be fooled, these things are junk. Now, this one here is like $10 for one, but these are the good ones, I think, and I would rather spend $40 to get 4 of those than to spend $5 and to get 10 of those crappy ones, because they are just junk. Anyway, just some information on those things that I have worked out. Okay, so I have elongated these holes a little bit with a file actually, so I have a little bit more room, and that is kind of how it's going to end up coming out, and that will be connected to, you know, the relevant connections there. These little feet here should be high enough to clear any wires or connections, which they already do because this goes through here. Oops. They were mounted on here, but not in a good spot. They should really be right on the outside here, otherwise it'll wobble. But anyway, that's what we will do. I'm going to prepare some of this stuff off camera now, and we'll finish putting it together when I got that done. Okay, after some experimentation, I found that lifting one of these things up at a time, and the second one should stay in place, and uh, lifting it a little bit of flux, and I definitely like using this thing because it absorbs the heat around it. Needs a little bit of solder, not much, and roughly halfway along the okay, that does it. And you can push it back in, and now we can put this whole thing back together. All the black ones will go connect together, and they will end up going over here. The yellow ones are going to go to the middle, and the red ones will go to that one over there. Alright. Okay, I got this crimped on, but for good measure we're going to solder this as well. Because when you got multiple wires like that, and I find that that is a good idea. Crimp it on first and then solder it later. After, I mean. tighten it down that much. Then if there's a little bit of solder that's caught under there, you will find that you'll have to tighten it up again in about a day or so, because the stuff will squeeze out. There we go. That indentation is very shallow. Let's make sure that it is going in. Okay, there we are. And nuts. We'll tape that down later on with some tape. Let's get the little feet on there. Should go there, not here. Should go there and not there. The yellow one should go to the middle and to the outside. Okay, and then ground should be okay. Alright, so that's it. So now I'll be able to mount my little microcontroller on there and put other stuff there, and we will have, I'll mark these as to the voltage, and we are done. Okay, another job that we can use for some of our projects here. I'll go and put some tape on there to tape the wires down, and I consider this to be a job well done. Okay, I'll see you guys later. Don't forget to subscribe and stuff. Yeah, it's all good.